Why would we intentionally build a system that waits until after benefits have been issued before verifying eligibility? Why would we spend $16 million on a website that you simply just put in your name and address? It's absurd.
U.S. states and territories made a collective $10 billion in improper payments to SNAP recipients nationwide in fiscal year 2025, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That's $10 billion of taxpayer funds on improper payments in just 1 year through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that the federal government grants to states who administer the subsidy to individuals. The Center Square reporter, Therese Boudreau, reports the average error payment rates, which includes both over and underpayments, was roughly 10.6%. That's well above the congressionally set threshold of 6%. USDA Secretary Brooke Collins said these payment error rates are further proof that state accountability is severely lacking in SNAP. She said USDA has taken historic action to help interested states curb SNAP waste, and that she hopes other states, regardless of political leadership, prioritize needy families and the American taxpayer over politics. Now, Alaska, the District of Columbia, New Mexico, Delaware, and Georgia had the highest average payment error rates, all surpassing 15%, with Alaska topping at 23%. As you can see there, New Mexico had 16.81%, Connecticut 16%. Now, the findings are an early warning sign for states and territories with average payment error rates at or above 6%. Starting in fiscal year 2027, which begins October 1st that year, states and territories that don't get their error rate average down, they're going to be shouldering a larger percentage of the program's administrative costs, meaning state taxpayers will have to pick up the tab. Unlike with other federal entitlement programs, states currently do not contribute any dollars to actual SNAP benefits. It's 100% funded by federal taxpayers. Now, state taxpayers do cover about 50% of administrative costs, but overall spending in the U.S. by taxpayers is $101.7 billion just in 2025. Now, under congressional Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill, which became law last year, states or territories with SNAP payment error rates at or over 6% will pay 75% of the program's administrative costs. That'll also be responsible for covering up to 15% of their state's benefit costs, depending on how high the error rate is. Again, state taxpayers will have to cover that cost. Currently, only 10 governors can claim average SNAP payment error rates below 6%. Here's a look at the 5 bottom error rates by state. South Dakota had the lowest at 2.47%, Idaho 3.85%, Wyoming almost 4%, Kentucky at 4.7%, and Iowa at 5.34%. Now, South Dakota with that lowest, roughly around 2%, and the lowest overpayment error rate, roughly 2.5%. Overall payment error rates and overpayment error rates were less than 4% in Idaho and Wyoming. Now, other states still facing higher error rates, Pennsylvania being one of them. Their error rates at 9.21%. And earlier this week, in the Pennsylvania legislature, State Senator Lisa Boscola urged for more to be done, including tightening enforcement against card skimmers that can steal SNAP benefits without a consumer even knowing it.
As of May 2026, more than 1.7 million Pennsylvanians receive SNAP benefits, including children, seniors, people with disabilities, and families trying to make ends meet. The scale of this theft is unacceptable. In 2024 alone, the Office of State Inspector General reported that 15 million in SNAP benefits was stolen through skimming. And according to recent reports, Pennsylvania has already seen more than 5,100 EBT skimming cases from the start of this year through May, totaling approximately 2.5 million in stolen benefits. Every dollar stolen from a SNAP benefit recipient is a dollar stolen twice. First, from the family receiving and relying on those benefits for groceries, and second, from the taxpayers who fund these programs.
Now, in Michigan, with a SNAP error rate of nearly 10%. State Representative Jason Wolford earlier this week, he pushed for more accountability on the floor of the chamber of who's getting such benefits, saying that identity verification is done almost everywhere a consumer goes.
Can you imagine Disney? They don't allow people to simply walk into the park and then after the fact go and check for tickets after they enjoyed all the rides. Yet somehow, when it comes to taxpayer-funded public assistance programs, which are worth billions of dollars, by the way, DHHS, SNAP benefits, $4 billion business, we're told that they should approve first and then verify later. That's absurd, and so I respectfully disagree. I've heard the argument that department catches problems on the back end. But I would ask, why would we intentionally build a system that waits until after benefits have been issued before verifying eligibility? Why would we spend $16 million on a website that you simply just put in your name and address? It's absurd.
Now, states continue to grapple with high error rates, tighter eligibility requirements from the federal government, and the potential of losing some federal tax funds only to be covered by local state taxpayer funds. Some are taking steps to give state tax dollars to certain individuals who may lose their benefits because of enhanced eligibility requirements. For example, in Illinois, as part of the state budget that was enacted, set to start July 1st, the Families Receiving Emergency Support for Hunger, or FRESH program, will provide a one-time lump sum payment of $400 to households that are subject to changes in eligibility and work requirements for the federal food assistance. Be sure to get the latest at thecentersquare.com.